Hello everybody and welcome to Premier League Projectatron, a prediction site with a difference. Today we are going to be looking at Manchester City hosting Chelsea. This is going to be on Sunday and both teams going off Champions League games. Bit disappointing, Murray.
A bit disappointing to say the least. Chelsea dropping 2 points at home and City losing to Bayern Munich. Okay, it's not the worst result in the world, but at this point City, they spent close to £1 billion since 2008. You don't want to be, making a statement.
Want to be kicking on.
Yeah. You want to get a result and actually beat teams like Bayern Munich, because that's who you're going to have to beat if you want to win the Champions League. But we're not talking about the Champions League, we're talking about the Premier League. And it is the two teams coming off of disappointment in midweek facing off against one another. In recent history, if we're talking last 5 years, City have actually had the better of this encounter. And rightly so, because Chelsea have been kind of waning in the post-first Mourinho reign years. However, since Mourinho came back, they've won twice in the Premier League, but City have actually won twice in cup competitions. So it's nice and evenly balanced now. And now you have the Premier League champions against the team who has probably the strongest squad in the league and deepest squad in the league, facing off in Manchester. I see this being an incredibly tight game. I think this can actually be a pretty dull, rough game, and it's going to get a lot of people angry. There's going to be a lot of niggly fouls. The referee is going to have a tough time with this one. But I can see Chelsea escaping from this one with a 1-0 victory.
Really?
Costa, there's some doubts over him at the moment because he has a hamstring injury. But, he's played every game since then, and he seems to be alright.
Well, if we've learned nothing else, is that when Diego Costa is injured, he always scores.
And always plays. Yes,
always plays,
yeah. So I think Costa will be playing this weekend. I think he'll probably be... Well, he's the most likely to get the winning goal for Chelsea. That's not to say Manchester City are out of it. I mean, obviously Manchester City have a brilliant squad too, but I think Chelsea have more grit this season and also more pressure. Last season they had a bit of relief in that, Mourinho's just back, we're still getting the squad together. This season they have no excuses, absolutely no excuses. And the same way City needed to beat Bayern to lay down a statement, Chelsea need to beat City here, I think. Or, get a draw, but beat them will put down a big, strong marker. They'll have 15 points after 5 games, top of the Premier League. Yeah, that would be something. And I think they'll want that. And I think they might actually need it by the end of the season.
I agree with you. Definitely, it's going to be a tight game, and I think if you're backing over back under in the goals on this one, if you're getting under 2.5, that's the bet to take. Interestingly, City are just in such a rut. They seem so devoid of ideas in the midfield department. Yaya Toure still appears to be sulking over his birthday cake, and he's yet to show up this season.
He's yet to get his birthday cake.
He's yet to get his birthday cake. And he's... they just seem to be so devoid of any spark of creativity. I think that if we've learned nothing else about Mourinho, it's that in big games in the league away from home, he plays for a draw. And since he came back last season, Chelsea have always tended to suffer in the week after a Champions League game, or the weekend rather after a Champions League game. And I think it'll be more the same here. I don't think Chelsea are going to be able to impose themselves the way they would like. I don't think that their midfield is going to be able to control the ball as much as they would like against City. And City coming off 3 really in a row disappointing results. First in the league against Stoke, and then against Arsenal in a game they probably should have won at the Emirates. And then they really wanted to get something out of that Bayern Munich game, and they ended up with a defeat. I think that City are going to be able to contain Chelsea, but that's all they're going to be able to do. I actually think this is going to be a draw, and I fancy a 1-1. I think City will probably score after a Chelsea goal. So Chelsea to go ahead, probably through Costa, because let's face it, he's doing all the scoring for Chelsea.
And then a magnificent start to the season.
Exactly. And then the only person who's doing all the scoring for City will be Aguero, probably getting the equaliser. But I like you, I see this as being a tight, niggly game with an awful lot of bad sportsmanship.
Cue the
nasty
6-3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But Mourinho tends to play for draws away from home, especially against the big sides. and he'd be happy enough coming out of this with a 1-1 draw. Whereas I think Pellegrini would be starting to feel a bit of pressure then with 4 games on the trot without a win.
Yeah, and like I said, for as much money as Chelsea have spent, City have spent more in recent years, so they need to beat their opponents here, and they're 5 points behind Chelsea already.
Yeah.
Now, I know it's still early days, but you don't want that gap to get any bigger.
No, absolutely not, yeah. What about Projectron?
Projectron also reckons it's going to be a 1-1 draw,
Clever
with
projection.
David Silva taking the lead for City in the 32nd minute, only for City to capitulate for the second week in a row, giving a goal away in the final minutes to Willian, who's looked pretty good.
Okay, so there you have it. Our predictions are: Rory's going for a 1-0 away win for Chelsea. I'm going for a 1-1 draw, and Projectron cleverly follows me, also picking a 1-1 draw. That's it for Premier League Projectron this week. Don't forget to check out our NFL Projectron and join us next week for more Premier League, NFL and eventually Champions League Projectron as well. We look forward to seeing you then, and enjoy the football.